Listen closely. The moment this message appears carries meaning far beyond coincidence. Timing speaks before words, and timing brought this to your awareness now. Across ancient Shaolin teachings, moments like this signal alignment between inner readiness and external call. I am Shi Heng Yi, and today this transmission reveals why certain days rise with unusual weight, why attention sharpens without effort, and why inner movement becomes necessary rather than optional. Many overlook these signals, yet disciplined awareness recognizes them instantly. This video uncovers the hidden mechanics behind decisive moments, the silent laws governing transition, and the subtle pressure that builds just before life shifts direction. Stay until the end, because clarity unfolds in layers. Early insight opens the door, later understanding shows the path, and the final realization anchors action with calm strength. Ancient wisdom teaches that destiny never shouts, it positions, aligns, and waits. This message explains how awareness sharpens during narrow windows, how energy consolidates before transformation, and why hesitation feels heavier during certain cycles. Lesser-known Shaolin principles reveal that readiness arrives quietly long before outward change becomes visible. Missing this understanding leads to repetition, recognizing it leads to elevation. Every sentence today serves a purpose, guiding focus away from noise and toward inner command. Presence becomes power, stillness becomes strategy, movement becomes inevitable. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a space devoted to discipline, clarity, and inner mastery. Join this path by subscribing and walk forward with precision, calm, and unwavering awareness. Notice the pattern. Certain moments carry more weight than others, not because of superstition, but because of timing and alignment. January 20th, 21, and 22. Sit inside a narrow window where decisions echo louder than usual. In life there are periods when effort feels forced, and others when a small shift creates a large result. These dates belong to the second kind. This window forms when pressure and clarity rise together. External conditions stabilize just enough for inner truth to surface. Distractions lose strength. Signals become harder to ignore. Many experience this as restlessness or a quiet urgency. Not panic, not excitement, but a steady pull toward action. Ancient disciplines observed this pattern long before modern psychology named it. Focus sharpens, resistance weakens, awareness becomes precise. During such windows, the mind receives information faster and hesitation feels heavier. This explains why unresolved choices suddenly demand attention. Not everything needs to change, yet one specific area stands out clearly. That clarity marks the window. It doesn't last long. Once it passes, momentum returns to normal, and the same decision requires far more effort. These days matter because energy consolidates, attention gathers, noise fades slightly. The environment supports decisive movement rather than endless analysis. This is not fate controlling outcomes. This is readiness meeting opportunity. Discipline teaches that timing multiplies force. A small, intentional move now carries the impact of 10 later. Many miss these windows by overthinking or waiting for certainty. Certainty never arrives first. Alignment arrives first. Understanding this difference separates progress from repetition. Awareness during these dates creates leverage. Ignoring it creates drag. The window remains neutral. It offers no reward on its own. Its power comes from response. Understand this clearly. The most decisive moments rarely announce themselves. No warning signs, no dramatic collapse, no sudden applause. Life-changing shifts arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary thoughts, subtle discomfort, or a calm knowing that refuses to leave. Many miss them because they expect noise. Discipline teaches the opposite. Power moves in silence. That quiet pressure felt lately is not confusion. It is direction forming. When the mind grows restless without chaos, when comfort begins to feel tight, awareness is sharpening. This stage appears before movement, not after. Those who listen early move with ease. Those who wait demand proof and lose momentum. Waiting often feels responsible, safe, logical. Yet waiting past clarity creates friction. Energy drains. Motivation fades. The cost is invisible at first, but heavy later. Opportunities rarely slam doors. They simply stop opening them. Movement during decisive periods does not require dramatic change. No reckless action, no public declaration. Movement begins internally. One honest decision, one boundary, one commitment made quietly and honored consistently. This is how momentum starts. Silence becomes valuable now. Less input, fewer opinions, reduced distraction. Focus narrows naturally. Attention points toward one unresolved area. That is the signal. Not everything asks for action. Only one thing asks for truth. A single calm decision alters direction more than months of effort. Timelines shift when clarity meets action. Discipline multiplies results when timing supports it. This is alignment, not luck. Luck fades. Alignment compounds. Preparation always arrives before the call. Skills, lessons, patience, resilience, all built quietly over time. Readiness never feels perfect. It feels sufficient. Fear may still appear, yet fear does not cancel readiness. It confirms importance. These moments test awareness, not courage. Those who recognize them move without noise. Those who ignore them repeat cycles. The path forward remains simple, focused, and calm, waiting for acknowledgement rather than force. Pay attention to the subtle signal rising inside. Restlessness without chaos. Pressure without fear. A quiet sense that something is approaching, even when nothing external has changed. This sensation does not come from anxiety. It comes from awareness sharpening ahead of movement. The body and mind recognize shifts before the intellect understands them. Energy gathers. Sleep patterns change slightly. Thoughts return to the same unresolved point. This is not distraction. This is focus forming. When direction approaches, the system prepares itself. Many mistake this feeling for impatience. Others label it confusion. In truth, it is alignment warming up. Inner systems are adjusting. Old habits begin to feel heavy. Familiar routines lose comfort. Not because they are wrong, but because they no longer fit what is forming next. This pressure does not demand speed. It asks for honesty. One area of life becomes impossible to ignore. A conversation postponed. A decision delayed. A path avoided. Awareness keeps pointing there, calmly and consistently. That repetition is intentional. Suppressing this signal creates tension. Overanalyzing it creates noise. Listening to it creates calm. The signal grows clearer when distractions reduce. Silence strengthens it. Stillness reveals its direction. Nothing external needs to collapse for change to begin. Real shifts start internally. The sense of something is coming is preparation, not prediction. It is readiness aligning with opportunity. When ignored, it fades temporarily, then returns stronger. When acknowledged, it steadies the mind. Comfort resists growth quietly. Growth invites discomfort gently. The difference lies in direction. This feeling points forward, not away. It does not rush. It does not threaten. It waits patiently for recognition. Trust builds here. Not blind trust, but informed trust, rooted in awareness. Discipline teaches that listening precedes action. Action without listening creates struggle. Listening without action creates stagnation. The signal remains neutral. It carries no judgment. It simply indicates that stillness alone is no longer sufficient. Movement, however small, is approaching its moment. Waiting often feels wise, familiar, protected. The mind prefers stability, even when growth quietly asks for movement. Comfort zones form not from laziness, but from survival. They keep energy predictable and risk low. That safety feels calming on the surface. Yet hesitation carries a hidden cost. Not sudden loss, not visible failure, but gradual dulling. Energy leaks through delay. Clarity softens. Motivation weakens. What once felt obvious becomes blurred. The longer waiting continues after awareness arrives, the heavier everything feels. Comfort zones rarely feel wrong. They feel reasonable. They offer explanations. Timing feels not right yet. Conditions feel almost ready. These thoughts soothe tension, but they also pause momentum. Growth does not disappear during waiting. It accumulates pressure. The mind resists movement because movement exposes uncertainty. Certainty feels secure, yet certainty never appears before action. It forms after alignment meets commitment. Waiting for certainty creates a loop with no exit. Hesitation often disguises itself as preparation. Research increases. Planning expands. Reflection repeats. All useful tools until they replace movement entirely. At that point, preparation becomes avoidance, gentle but limiting. Every delayed decision carries interest, not punishment, just consequence. Opportunities require more effort later. Energy must be rebuilt. Confidence must be re-earned. What once asked for a step now demands a leap. Comfort zones shrink slowly. They never announce it. Days repeat. Weeks pass. Life stays manageable, yet something essential feels paused. That quiet dissatisfaction signals the cost. Movement does not mean abandoning safety. It means redefining it. True safety comes from adaptability, not stillness. Discipline teaches that comfort is a teacher, not a home. Acknowledging hesitation without judgment restores power. Fear loses control when seen clearly. Growth does not demand perfection. It responds to sincerity. One honest move dissolves weeks of waiting. The moment awareness appears, waiting shifts from rest to resistance. That shift is subtle, but its impact shapes direction. Movement often gets misunderstood. The mind associates it with disruption, loss of control, or reckless change. That belief creates resistance. True movement is the opposite of chaos. It is deliberate, precise, and calm. Intentional movement begins internally. A decision made clearly and honored quietly. No announcement, no pressure to explain. Alignment starts the moment truth is acknowledged. Outer action follows naturally, step by step. Moving now does not require abandoning structure. It requires adjusting direction. One boundary set, one habit released, one commitment taken seriously. These small shifts create stability, not disorder. Chaos comes from reacting. Movement comes from choosing. When action aligns with awareness, energy steadies. The body relaxes, the mind sharpens, clarity replaces overthinking. Even difficult steps feel grounded. This is how disciplined action feels: focused, contained, controlled. Outer movement matters, but timing matters more. Acting during alignment reduces friction. Effort multiplies results. Resistance weakens. Progress feels natural rather than forced. This is not urgency driven by fear. This is readiness responding to opportunity. Many delay action because they fear mistakes, yet mistakes refine direction. Stillness after clarity creates stagnation. Movement creates feedback. Feedback creates adjustment. Adjustment creates mastery. Inner action comes first, letting go of an old story, releasing the need for permission, accepting responsibility for direction. These shifts are invisible, yet powerful. Outer steps gain strength from them. Movement respects patience. It does not rush. It advances steadily. One step builds confidence for the next. This rhythm protects balance. No energy is wasted on proving anything. Chaos arises when action lacks intention, when fear drives behavior, when urgency replaces awareness. Intentional movement avoids this entirely. It stays measured, focused, and honest. This phase asks for participation, not overhaul. Motion, not noise. Precision, not pressure. The path forward unfolds as soon as movement aligns with truth. Understand this without fear. Doors rarely close with force. They close through stillness, maintained too long after clarity appears. When awareness has already pointed the way, remaining motionless sends a quiet message of refusal, not rebellion, not failure, just non-response. Clarity is time-sensitive. It carries energy with it. When received, momentum becomes available. When ignored, that energy dissipates. Nothing dramatic happens. Life continues. Yet the ease once present disappears. The same option later demands more effort, more courage, more sacrifice. Staying still after clarity teaches the mind to doubt itself. Trust weakens. Signals become quieter. The inner voice stops insisting and starts withdrawing. This is how doors close. Not slammed, not locked. Simply unattended until the opportunity passes its moment. This does not mean punishment exists. Life does not retaliate. It redirects. Paths reorganize. Circumstances shift. The original opening dissolves into another, often narrower, often harder. Growth remains possible, but the cost increases. Many believe time will preserve opportunity. Time actually tests response. Awareness arrives first. Action confirms readiness. When action fails to follow, the moment completes itself without participation. Stillness has power when chosen consciously. Stillness becomes resistance when used to avoid known truth. That distinction defines outcomes. Rest restores energy. Resistance drains it. The mind prefers neutrality. No risk, no mistake. Yet neutrality after clarity becomes a decision itself. Not choosing becomes choosing. That choice shapes direction quietly and permanently. Movement does not guarantee success. Stillness does not guarantee safety. Only alignment guarantees learning. Doors open to those who respond, not those who wait perfectly. When clarity arrives, it asks for acknowledgement, a step, a signal, a response. Without that response, the door fulfills its purpose and closes naturally, making room for something else. Awareness exists to be used. Ignoring it teaches life, not to knock as clearly next time. These days ask for simplicity, not withdrawal from life, but refinement of attention. Focus becomes the priority. Energy moves where attention rests, so place it deliberately. Reduce unnecessary input. Fewer conversations, less scrolling, less external opinion. Space creates clarity. Simplifying does not mean doing less of everything. It means doing less of what distracts from the essential. One area deserves full presence. Identify it. Sit with it. Allow thoughts to settle rather than chase them. Silence reveals direction faster than analysis. Noise dulls awareness. Constant input blurs signals. During these days, protect mental space. Short periods of stillness strengthen perception. Breathing steadies the system. Walking without distraction resets focus. The body assists clarity when given room. Listening inward requires honesty, not positive thinking, not motivation. Truth. Notice which thoughts repeat without effort. Notice which ideas bring calm rather than excitement. Calm indicates alignment. Excitement fades. Calm remains. Writing helps. One page, no structure, just clarity. Words organize awareness. They bring vague feelings into form. Once seen clearly, action becomes simpler. Sleep matters now. Rest stabilizes perception. Fatigue distorts urgency. Nourishment supports steadiness. Small physical choices influence mental clarity more than expected. Reduce commitments that scatter attention. Not forever, just temporarily. Focus consolidates energy. Consolidated energy sharpens decision-making. Avoid forcing answers. They surface naturally when space exists. The right decision feels grounded, not rushed. It carries weight without pressure. Listening inward also means noticing resistance. Discomfort points toward growth. Avoidance highlights importance. Neither requires judgment. Both offer information. These days are not about perfection. They are about presence. Awareness strengthens when noise fades. Direction becomes visible when attention stops scattering. What remains at the center after simplification holds the next step. One quiet decision carries more power than most realize. It does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. Yet a single choice, made with clarity and integrity, can redirect months, even years of direction. Momentum follows intention. Energy shifts toward fulfillment. Timing aligns with action. Small decisions often appear insignificant. A phone call returned, a conversation initiated, a habit adjusted, a boundary set. Nothing seems dramatic, yet the ripple effect travels far. Life responds to clarity, not volume. Movement without noise is the strongest movement of all. These moments reveal how layered our reality is. The world continues around you, seemingly unchanged, yet internally a trajectory has altered. Opportunities that once required struggle now arrive with relative ease. Obstacles that once blocked the path seem lighter. One quiet acknowledgement of truth rearranges circumstances subtly but decisively. Discipline teaches that decisive steps need not be grand, they need only be intentional. When hesitation dissolves, energy previously held in tension transforms into forward motion. Timing amplifies this effect. The same choice made at the wrong moment often demands far more effort. The same choice made now carries leverage. Quiet decisions also build confidence. Once one aligns inner truth with outward action, clarity strengthens. Future decisions become easier. Fear loses its grip. Momentum compounds without attention. Life begins to support rather than resist. This principle applies to both personal and professional realms. Small adjustments in focus, honesty, or responsibility create shifts that ripple across multiple layers of life. What seemed minor can determine the trajectory of months, years, even decades. Recognizing the weight of these moments does not create pressure. It inspires presence. Action is no longer random. Choice carries consequence. Intentionality becomes a practice. The smallest, calmest step often carries the greatest result. Timing and awareness converge. One quiet choice becomes the catalyst. The path forward changes without fanfare, yet with undeniable effect. Momentum flows where clarity leads. Understand this clearly. Transformation is never about luck. Luck is random. Luck is external. What matters now is alignment. Alignment between awareness, intention, and action. The universe does not reward chance. It responds to focus and responsibility. Every moment carries information. Every feeling, every pull, every quiet insistence is data. Not mystical signs, not coincidences, but signals of readiness. Those signals demand attention, not superstition. They ask for discernment, not ritual. Observing them, acknowledging them, responding to them. That is how doors open. That is how momentum builds. Alignment begins internally. Discipline cultivates awareness. Awareness notices what is true beneath distraction. It distinguishes between desire and necessity, between noise and guidance. When clarity meets action, energy consolidates. When clarity is ignored, energy disperses. That is the natural law, not luck. Responsibility becomes the measure of alignment. Life offers no shortcuts. The right moment is not magical. It is earned through readiness and honesty. Actions taken in alignment carry leverage. Actions taken out of fear, hope, or indecision carry strain. Understanding this difference transforms hesitation into precision. Awareness sharpens the path. When the mind is calm, the decision is clear. When the mind is distracted, signals blur. Alignment asks for simplicity, focus, and courage. It rewards presence, not superstition. The right step taken consciously moves circumstances far more than passive waiting or reliance on fortune. This is why the coming days matter. The opportunity lies not in wishing for luck, but in listening carefully, acting intentionally, and honoring responsibility. Each choice reflects alignment or misalignment. Every small step accumulates, shaping outcomes far beyond what appears immediate. The shift is subtle, yet undeniable. Awareness guides, responsibility executes, and alignment amplifies. Energy flows to those who recognize it, not to those who hope for it. When action mirrors truth, the results feel effortless, yet profound. The universe does not play dice. Alignment opens doors where luck only whispers. Every experience you've lived, every challenge faced, every lesson learned has built readiness within you long before this moment arrived. Preparation is rarely obvious. It hides in the quiet accumulation of patience, discipline, and resilience. You may not feel fully ready, and that is natural, yet readiness does not always appear as certainty. It appears as capability, subtle and steady. Fear may surface now, but fear is not the opposite of readiness. Fear signals importance. It signals that this choice carries weight. Those who move forward despite fear discover that readiness was already present. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action aligned with truth in its presence. Look back and notice the invisible training. Decisions once postponed, obstacles once overcome, failures once endured, they were all shaping capacity. Skills, intuition, and inner strength accumulate silently. When clarity arrives, the foundation already exists. You are more equipped than you realize. Doubt tries to disguise itself as wisdom. It whispers that hesitation is prudent. Yet wisdom arises when preparation meets decision, not when fear lingers. The hesitation you feel is a reminder of significance, not incapacity. Momentum does not require perfection. It requires readiness, and readiness has been quietly cultivated within you. This is why small steps matter now. Each intentional action draws upon the preparation already in place. Each acknowledgement of truth reinforces inner strength. What feels intimidating is simply a threshold, not a barrier. The tools, insight, and experience you need are already present. Even uncertainty can become a guide. It directs attention to the area requiring action, the lesson demanding engagement, the path inviting courage. Trust emerges when preparation and clarity meet. Fear diminishes as action confirms capability. You are ready. Not because everything is certain, but because everything necessary has already been gathered inside. Every moment up to this point was preparation for the moment now calling. The path forward is visible, and your steps, though measured, carry power. Move now, but move with calm, not fear. Let each step be guided by clarity, not urgency. The pressure you feel is not a warning, it is an invitation to act from alignment, to honor readiness, and to embrace the momentum that has been quietly building inside you. Courage is not loud, it is steady, it is deliberate, it is the calm presence that turns clarity into change. As you move forward, trust your preparation, trust your awareness, and trust the quiet strength that has carried you to this moment. Each choice you make now, no matter how small, has the power to redirect your path toward growth, fulfillment, and purpose. Respond with intention. Step with conviction. Your timing is precise. If this message resonates, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow so you never miss guidance that sharpens awareness and strengthens action. Share this clarity with those who need it, and let the ripple of calm decisiveness expand beyond this moment. Remember this: stillness does not equal safety. Hesitation does not equal wisdom, but a quiet, intentional step forward equals transformation. Walk with calm, move with purpose, and let every decision reflect the readiness already within you.